What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Matt of Pig and Matt here. So, this past weekend was the Age of Overlords sneak peek, and I decided to go to locals and play at it. And sadly, we didn't get to use any of the cards from the new set at the shop owner's discretion, but that didn't stop me from playing the deck you see before you. Illusion Chimera. So, some quick things. I managed to go in a 5-round tournament, 3 wins and 2 draws. So technically, this is an undefeated deck profile. Some matchups I went against were the Mirror, Runic Sprite for Hire, the Red Dragon Archfiend deck, straight up Puppet Lock branded, and the rank 4 Shark deck. So against a pretty wide variety of decks, this deck performed incredibly well, and I figured I'd show you guys the deck profile I used for this local. But I will make note at the end of this video, I'll show you guys some cards and ideas I'll probably change with the new cards when we get there. But until then, let's go with the BS and show you guys the deck profile. So, Illusion Chimera. Well, started out, we're going to start with the illusion part. Your 3 copies of your Mirror Sword Knight, 3 copies of Cornholio to search it, 3 copies of Gazelle, King of the Mythical Claws, because he is absolutely necessary, and he's usually what you're searching with. He's what you're searching with your Big Wing Berfermot, which is what you're summoning off your Mirror Sword Knight, and of course your Big Wing Berfermot is getting you your 3 copies of Chimera Fusion. Pretty compact, consistent engine of cards. Don't really need to mess with these ratios. They all work perfectly fine. You could play a 3rd one of this if you absolutely want to, but 2 is okay. All of these cards maintain a fantastic package that the only thing hindering it is the fact that Chimera Fusion here can only be played during the main phase. And I guess kind of part of this, but not really. The last card I opted to run was 1 copy of Versaga the Destroyer. There's a lot of discussion as to whether you play this or the Light Hex Sealed Fusion. And the reason I opted for this is because if you hard draw it, you can use it with Chimera Fusion, because Chimera Fusion requires that you use a Fiend or a Beast monster when you're fusing with it. So, yeah. I do not regret playing this over the Light Hex Sealed, and I'll probably continue to do that even after the new support, gets into the deck. Alright, so that's your entire Illusion Chimera package. Now, obviously, the supplementary engines that you play in order to support that. Because for the most part, it's a pretty compact engine, not too many frills or thrills. So, of course, with this being a fusion-based deck, you got to play the other best fusion package in the whole game. 2 copies of Fallen Albaz, 3 copies of Branded Fusion. I have tested the openings, the Aluber, and the kit. And while I like the kit, I didn't care much for the branded opening with the Aluber package. So I just cut it down as much as possible and just opted to go with, just simply Branded Fusion, Fallen Albaz. And that worked perfectly fine for me. And I would not change that or add too much more, especially with the new support coming. Alright. So this was a 45 card deck because I decided to have a little bit of fun at locals this week. And I wasn't 100% sure if I'd get to use the new stuff yet. So I opted to play another fun engine in the deck, and that would be the Destiny Hero package of 3 Destiny fusions, or Fusion Destinies, the one of Celestial, and the one of Dasher. This is a 45 card deck, So if you want to play 40, here's 5 cards to cut. And generally, most games 2 or 3, I sided this package out, if I'm going to be honest. But when I didn't, and I resolved this on top of regular combo, people just scoop. Card is still really good, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And also, I got some Spanish copies of these cards and the DPE, so I just wanted an excuse to play them. Alright, and lastly, the kind of necessary evil of the whole deck. 3 copies of Super Polymerization. Obviously, after this week, once Age of Overlords is legal, I'm going to have to fix the extra deck. And this card will only get better and will continue to make the mirror match an even more miserable experience. So, yeah. Card is insane and helps you break boards, but at the same time, it ruins your day when your opponent does it to you. Alright, so lastly in the non-engine part, I opted to play the crossout package of the crossout and a called by, and then 8 copies, 8 copies of the cards that will hurt you the most playing this deck. Droll is insane. It is an absolutely fantastic card, and I don't know why people aren't opting to play it. Aside from occasionally certain matches not being that good against, but from my experience, there are more matches that it's good against the matches that it's not that good against. And also, it really fucking sucks to have this card hit you, so yeah, obvious. And then Ash Blossom on your Branded Fusion or your Mirror Sword Knight really sucks. And then, of course, Infinite Impermanence is just really, really fucking good. Also, unlike Valor, it plays around Talents and Thrust, so that's why I opted for it. Alright, so the last 5 cards that are non-engine that I opted to play were 2 copies of DD Crow and 3 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. This is probably the best card in the whole deck that is not related to anything in question in the deck. This applies way too much pressure, wipes fields on its own, and gives you hand material for your big fusion guy, your Guardian Chimera. So yeah, this card's absolutely fantastic, and absolutely you should play 3 of them in your deck. DD Crow here is good. I guess technically you can use it for the fusion summon of your one branded guy in the extra deck, but overall I just wanted to use it to answer a lot of weird problems. And also I noticed some people are playing it in their builds, so it's another crossout target. Alright. Now onto the extra deck. 2 copies of Chimera, King of the Phantom Beast. I play 1 copy of Chimera, the Illusion Beast. This card is insane. In my Red Dragon Archfiend match, I won a game by fusing 5 monsters to make this, and I hit them for a shit ton of damage because they left a monster in attack mode, and he got in there. And then the other necessary is that I played 2 copies of Guardian Chimera. Yeah, it's pretty self-standard, or pretty self-explanatory. When you end your combo, you usually just make sure to do this on the opponent's turn to wipe their field. Or sometimes on your turn you can make it and then wipe their field and get in for damage or whatever. But yeah. And it's a beast, so it works with your fusion and all that other stuff. Card's super good. You have 1 copy that you need to play for your main combo, and then the other one is just backup in case you need it. 1 copy of the Magnum, the Reliever. Card's solid. I did summon it a couple times. It's 2800 attack, which is real nice. It's a fiend, so obviously it works with your fusion card. And in one instance, I did use its effect to banish to like pop a card, which is pretty good. So yeah, probably still play him even after the new set. All right, Now for the branded fusions, the most important one, of course, is Rimbrim. This gets everything going. You send your Gazelle and Albaz, and you get to search the Illusion guy. Also, he's an interrupt in two ways, either in the graveyard or on the field. One Albion. Some people opt to play Light Hex Sealed because they like to go this path with the card. I did not. Though there was a game I did use this to make Mirror Jade, but that was about it. One copy of Lubellion, basically just to make a DPE, and then of course Mirror Jade. Card's insane. You don't rely on it as much though, because you're not really playing a branded deck, you're playing your Chimera deck with a bunch of branded cards. Alright, and the last two boss monsters were the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon and the copy of Hero del Destino Phoenix Enforcer Destructor. This card, yeah. I have the Spanish copy and I wanted to use it, so yeah. This combo is insane when you put it on people. Just hope they don't Super Poly it away. Speaking of Super Poly, these are the targets I opted to play. One Mud Dragon, Predaplant Dragostapelia, and a Garura. There was a game where somebody flipped that there can be only one on me, so I couldn't Guardian Chimera them. So I had to awkwardly make this Mud Dragon. So he at least serves a purpose. And him and Garura are the most generic. And Dragostapelia is just okay. It's pretty decent in the mirror match because there's plenty of scenarios where you can fuse their stuff off into it. But there's a part of me that almost wants to play the Starving Venom, but I'm not 100% sure on it. But yeah, that's the main and extra deck. Instead of showing you a side deck, I'm going to go over some cards for future changes. So let's get that set up. Alright, so like I've noted multiple times in this video, Age of Overlord is around the corner. So that means that pretty soon you'll have access to this boy right here. Berfermot, the Mythical King of the Phantom Beast. This card is absolutely insane. On summon, it can Foolish Burial, Beast, Illusion, or Fiend Monster. And then if he's in your graveyard, you can banish him to special summon one of your banished monster of one of those types. So he helps get you extra uses out of your copy of Chimera here. And he also has a lot of neat, cheeky plays that anyone who's savvy enough to look through the card pool of available monsters will find some really cool stuff. But that's what King Tiger Wangu here gets to represent. Because if you know, you know. But when the new set drops, or is street legal, I'm definitely going to be opting to play the one copy of this. Most likely over the whole DPE package, as much as I like the card. We just have better options available now, so he's definitely going to come in. And then from there, I'm not 1,000% sure just how gimmicky or how straightforward I want the deck, but some cards to consider for those wanting to play just more the Illusion deck. The Master Tal is now out, so you have yet another thing for Cornholio. And when he's sent, he's pretty neat because he can summon an illusion from your graveyard. So now you can start doing more stuff with the Nightmare Magician that came out in Duelist Nexus, which is super dope because this card is super cool and I wanted to test it myself for a while. So yeah. He's definitely coming in. Some cards are DPE package is probably getting cut. And I'll likely experiment with the Master Tau, the Chandler. But I'm not 1,000% sure on ratios and all that. So yeah, let's wrap this video up. So you have it, folks. My Illusion Chimera deck profile with a preview of what's to come in the future. At the end of the day, this deck is actually surprisingly really good and also really, really fun, and I'm glad I got all the cards. And after this weekend, I know for sure I'm going to soon start experimenting with all the fun stuff because I got my fusion guy and I'm ready to do some fun stuff. So yeah, if you guys are doing anything cool with the deck, make sure to comment down below and tell me what you think of my build. Otherwise, this is Meh, Pig and Meh, signing out.